hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 20 Valentine's Day Dollar Tree DIYs for you. The first 10 DIYs are going to be vintage with red, a little surprise green, and the final 10 are going to be pink and glam. Now I wanted to do something really vintage, Victorian, very old school Valentine's Day, and so I was inspired to first make a tray, and I picked up this beautiful tray from the Dollar Tree. It's got like a mottled gold appearance on there. And so I kind of want to make it like not all just gold though. I kind of want to make it two-tone. And I want to use a lot of red, of course, for Valentine's Day, but I wanted to bring in like a minty greenish blue color. I love mixing that with red, and I thought I could even get away with doing that with these like vintage or Victorian Valentine's Day vibes. So I just tape off the inside of the tray because I wanted to leave that part gold. Now, I didn't quite have the color that I wanted, and so I'm just going to mix colors together. So just remember that if you don't have the quite shade you want, you could always mix colors together. I am mixing like half turquoise and half white together to get that light blue color, and then I'm going to go back and put like a little bit of leafy green in there, and it's going to give me that beautiful mint green color. And so that's looking pretty good. And I think that's going to look real pretty with the gold and the red of these DIYs. So I'm just going to get in there and start painting all of the sides of this, kind of getting in between all of the little like raised beads along the edges, and just paint all over. This tray from the Dollar Tree is just made out of plastic, so it's super easy to paint. But if a little bit of that gold is shining through, like in my brush strokes, I'm good with that because that's just going to make it look distressed, and that's like one less step that I'll have to do. So I'm just making sure I have good coverage all around. And then I go in and give it a quick dry with my heat gun. Now, what happens next was a little unexpected. I have never painted one of these trays before, but let me show you what happens if you use painter's tape. Yep, you guessed it. It pulled off that beautiful gold finish. I was horrified. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go to Dollar Tree and buy another tray. And then I'm like, no, not everybody is going to be able to find this beautiful gold tray. So let's go ahead and work with it. And I'll show you how you can use any color tray because we're going to have to kind of start over. We did it really bad there on the top. I was using good painter's tape too, maybe a little too good, maybe it was a little too sticky. But I picked up some of this gold metallic acrylic paint just at Dollar General the other day, and I think we're going to be able to use that to kind of save this tray. So the first thing I tried was just going in with like a chunky brush and that metallic gold and kind of doing like a little mottled painting all the areas that kind of tore that off to see if I could like kind of match what was going on. I could get kind of close, but I really couldn't match it. So I decided to just paint it. So I'm going to do a couple coats on the areas that are black now to kind of make those a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to go in and paint the bottom of the tray, the gold. So if you're going to paint one of these trays, please be careful with the painter's tape. Let me be your cautionary tale. I was like, oh man, this is my first project out of 10. And it's already a fail, but we're going to make it a win. So I want this tray to look like really ornate, very old school Valentine's Day. So I found a couple of things from the Dollar Tree to decorate it with. That's going to give it a lot of detail. So once I got the gold on there, I thought it looked just a little bit too like bright gold. So I thought I'd go in with a little antique wax by Waverly and just kind of do like a stipple pattern all over. And then I'm going to go back in with a baby wipe and very carefully, like just kind of distress that to kind of give me that vintage brassy looking finish, similar to how the tray was before. And I like that. I think that turned out pretty good. So now we can start decorating this guy. I wanted to bring out that beautiful detail around the edges, so I'm using that same gold acrylic paint. And then I'm just using a makeup sponge and I'm lightly going over to get the rim of the tray and just the dots sticking up and to make them that metallic gold. It's okay if I get a little bit on the tray. It's going to distress it a little bit, but you could always go in with some baby wipes if you get too much in any area and kind of clean that up a little bit. But what an easy way to bring out all that beautiful detail on this tray. Now, I wanted to decorate it with some of these stickers from the Dollar Tree. These have like great textures, and there's even one that says love. So I thought these were perfect for the kind of vibe that I want to go for with these DIYs today. So they have like 4 corner pieces, and I think that would be great for a tray. We could do like all 4 corner pieces. And then they have a little love piece as well that I'd like to try. But I want them to be like red for Valentine's Day, so I'm just going over them with a brush and some candy apple red acrylic, trying to get these as bright as I can with that acrylic paint. So I just go in and I'm painting all 4 corners. And I really want that bright red to pop. And you know, it's kind of hard to get good coverage on red, so definitely going over with a second coat to try to make that a little bit brighter. Then I also picked up some of these little craft board hearts from the Dollar Tree. I think they have like a really beautiful cutout design on there, and I thought that might look really cute on the tray as well as some of these little wood words from the Dollar Tree. This is the word love. You get 2 in a package, and those all of those actually are from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go in and paint my little heart red as well. I kind of wish I would have painted it white first. I think the red may have been a little bit brighter if I would have done that, but I'm just trying to get it as good and red as I can get it. And then I thought for the word love, I didn't really want to do that in red. I wanted to do that like in a white. So I'm doing Ivory acrylic and just using a makeup sponge. We're going to go in there and paint our love word. That's going to kind of make that pop against that gold tray, I think. And these are really cute. I love these words, and I love the fact they're already cut out. I got some like Cricut wood to use with my Cricut to cut wood, and I'm kind of scared to do it on my Cricut because I just feel like it's going to break it. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever used your Cricut to cut like the balsa or the little craft wood that they sell. Like I got the Cricut kind, but I'm still scared. So I'm going to take those little red corners that we painted red. If I got too much paint, I'm just trying to clean that up before I put it down. And you can kind of clean that up a little bit. And one of those little ornate corners in all 4 corners of our tray. And I think it's really making this Dollar Tree tray look way fancier and way more high-end. Then I decided I wanted a second heart. I didn't want it to be kind of asymmetrical. So I'm going to go in and use another one of those craft boards. And then I also want to use this little piece that says love. Now, it was a little tricky to paint because when I painted it, I was trying not to get paint on the love word in the middle, so I kept kind of wiping that off. But I soon discovered that those are separate pieces, so you can definitely pop the love out first before you paint it, which would make it a lot easier. I've never DIY'd with these before. So I'm going to go ahead and attach our little hearts, one on each side of the tray, kind of in between the brackets there. I just want a lot of detail and a lot of like decor and bling on these projects today. I really did a different decorating style than I've probably ever done before, but I'm totally loving it for Valentine's Day. I think it's appropriate. And see what I mean? You can totally take that off and paint it separately. But I attached a love word to the tray, and then I'm going to use that little sticker for the O just to give it a little bit more interest, and popping the love sticker in there as well. Now, all of those stickers were really sticky, and I think that they'll be able to stay on pretty well. I also wanted to bring out that great detail in those stickers on the corner. So using the same technique I used on the tray, I'm just using a makeup sponge and that gold metallic paint. I'm just distressing it just to bring out that detail and give it some shine. And it's looking pretty good. I love it, but I wanted to add more bling. So I got some of these little red dot stickers from the Dollar Tree. These are kind of the shiny red ones. And we are going to attach these. I kind of wanted to do a row on the inside tray, kind of like there's a row on the outside. Just connecting those corner brackets just to give a little bit more detail. It's kind of pretty without it, but I love it with it. So these things are great because they're like on a string of glue. They're super sticky. They usually stay stuck to most things I have found. But if they don't, you can always glue them down if you need to. But so far, so good on this tray with those staying in place. And isn't this looking really cool? So this is how our beautiful love tray turned out for Valentine's Day. I'm just going to display it with a Dollar Tree plate display. And I kind of bent it to kind of make the tray stand more upright. And this is how this beauty turned out. Okay, so the next DIY, we're going to use one of these wood conversation hearts, some glass stickers, and some heart stickers from the Dollar Tree. So I kind of got the green one because I thought we could just go ahead and decorate the back. It's just going to make it easier. And so I'm just going to use heat and a little glue gun to get all that sticker off the back. But I'm going to go ahead and leave the sides that beautiful green color because it kind of matches what we're going for today. So I wanted this heart to be gold though. I didn't want it to be red. I wanted it to be metallic gold. So I'm going over the back of it with that gold metallic paint. I didn't have any metallic paints and I love that. I just picked this up at Dollar General the other day and it was just a couple of dollars and it is really a great metallic paint. It is really shiny. So I just paint the front. Now I'm going to kind of distress the sides with a little bit of ivory and then using a baby wipe to just kind of distress that because the green was a little bold and I just kind of wanted it to look a little bit more antiqued around the edges. Now this is a glass sticker from the Crafter Square from Dollar Tree and I want the heart on there that says love. I think that's really pretty. And you can use these things on all different kinds of things. They're just stickers. It doesn't have to be glass. I love DIYing with these. I think they're so pretty. So it's just like a regular sticker. All you got to do is peel and stick. And so that's what I do. I try to put it here in the center of the heart. And then all I need to do is bling this heart out because I want it to look fancy. Now I did want to kind of seal that a little bit, so I do go over the top of it with just a little glossy Mod Podge, kind of bring out some shine. And seal it on there a little bit. So that's where our little bling heart looks like so far. And I'm going to display this heart next to the tray that we just made. So I kind of wanted another little accent piece. Now for bling, I thought these little red, they're like gemstone stickers in the shape of a heart from the Dollar Tree would be just perfect. And these are individual little stickers so you can just peel and stick. The only challenging part about using these was you have to be really careful when you're pulling them off the mat because a lot of times the adhesive stays on it. I was trying to figure out the trick to it. I think it's just kind of how you peel it off. But we're just going to go ahead and line the entire heart with these pretty hearts. I love them. They're so shiny. They look like little gemstones. And I'm just doing one side at a time just to try to keep it like as symmetric as I can and my spacing good and outline the entire heart with those. So we've got our gold, we've got our red, we've got our turquoise, we've got a little bit of white there, but I wanted more bling. So I got some more of these dot stickers from the Dollar Tree. These are the little white ones and they kind of remind me of like little tiny pearls. I think they're so pretty. So I thought we could bling this out a little bit with that. So I'm just going to go on the inside of the heart that we just did with the heart gemstones. These are great because you can go around like curved surfaces like that just by where you push down on them, and you get that perfect like curved shape. And then I can just start where I left off, and it can even go like around tricky corners like that. Now, when I got it on there, I noticed that this was not centered great, but luckily it was a sticker. So I was able to peel and stick, but I wouldn't do that too much. It might fall off on you. And so I just finish off my heart there, and I think that's probably as much bling as I can fit on this heart, but I love it because that metallic gold is like super shiny, and it's got like all of those red gemstones, and I think it looks very ornate and beautiful for Valentine's Day. And this is the final result. I love that little sticker with a little bird and the word love. I think it's so pretty. And I just loving all the gemstones on there. So cute. Okay, the next DIY, I'm going to use this vase I just picked up at the Dollar Tree. It's a glass vase. It's got like just like a line texture on it, which is kind of simple, but I think we're going to be able to make it work for this DIY. And I kind of want to make like a heart tree. I kind of wanted to do a branch, but I didn't really have any kind of branch that I could use for this. And so I'm going to use some of that white glitter like coral that you see there from the Dollar Tree. I think I have that left over from summer, but I think they carry it a lot. And I mix up that same like mint green color using my turquoise green and white. And I'm just going to go in with a brush and paint all over. This has got like the ridges in between each line, so you kind of have to get in there. But I kind of wanted to paint this on the outside of the vase to kind of make it look more like pottery and less like glass. So just pop it on my finger and paint all over, including the bottom, just to give it a finished appearance. And then I'm going to go in and also paint the rim around the top. I thought about going and like dipping the bottom of it, making it look like it was dipped in gold. That would be really pretty too, but I chose not to. Now, these are the jewel border stickers. They're gold, and I thought these look like a lot of bling. One thing I learned with working with these today is that the glue on these is not as sticky as the glue on those other stickers, the little dot stickers that we've been using. And I did have to go back and hot glue these on most projects that I used, including this one, because it was starting to come off a little bit, but I just went around the lip of the vase like that to give it a little bit of decor. I do go back and add a little bit more to that. And then I'm going to use just sand. I wanted something that could hold my plant up, but it was small enough to go in the hole. So I'm using a little Dollar Tree funnel and some Dollar Tree white sand. Doesn't matter what color you use because you're not going to be able to see it. And this is that glitter coral. Kind of looks like it's from 4th of July. And I thought it kind of looked like branches. And I think it's going to be pretty for this because the colors are like just perfect. We can have like the mint green vase. We can have the white tree. And then I'm going to use those little red glitter stickers from the Dollar Tree to make like little leaves all over our little faux tree. Now these come in like small, medium, and large. I'm going to start with the small ones, and I'm just going to put them back to back, like sandwiching the plant in between. That way it's kind of pretty from both directions, and it's going to help it stay on there as well. And so I just kind of randomly just start placing these all over different heights, different locations on each branch, and then putting the one on the back to secure it. Because I just want it to look like, you know, kind of like a heart tree. I thought that would be really pretty. And I love these sparkly hearts. I think they look so festive for Valentine's Day. My Valentine's Day coffee bar is doing, my video is doing really well with the love letters. A lot of you guys know I premiered that video last Monday when YouTube went down, and all my views were gone, and it took like 2 or 3 days, but I finally got all my views back, thank goodness, because I worked really hard on that video. So I got a lot of hearts on there. I'm just kind of putting it in the vase, kind of like arranging it how I want it to look to see if I need any more hearts. And then I'm just going to add more. And I kind of switched size. These are the medium size hearts now, but it's okay. I'm just using like small, medium ones all over. You could also use like the little glitter heart vase fillers. But you would definitely have to have a branch, something a little bit sturdier than this little glitter coral. But this is how it's looking. And then I thought it just needs a little bit more bling because we're doing bling today, right? So I'm going to use those same little gemstone heart stickers that we were using before. And just underneath the little gold, I'm going to do just a row of these little hearts. It's going to bring a little bit more color into that vase. I thought about like decorating it even more, like further down, but with the shape of the vase, I thought it was going to be really kind of hard to pull it off. And so we're just going to do 2 rows of bling here. And I think that's going to do the trick. And what I'm making these DIYs for is I have a cabinet in between my living room and my dining room area in my house where I like to display seasonal decor for whatever season it is. I love it. You know, I go by the motto that life is short. You should celebrate everything. So we celebrate everything around here. And I always like to keep this really updated, and I wanted to fill the whole cabinet. So this is on the top shelf of it. And I really think it's going to fill in nicely with its height. And I think it looks really good with our color scheme. And it's got a little bit of sparkle and bling. Okay, are you ready for another Valentine's Day DIY? We're going to use these materials. I wanted to make a fake, like, candy heart box. Like the box of candy that you would get for Valentine's Day. I thought we could DIY one for decor. So we're going to start with 2 wood hearts, just the same size, because I want it to look like a box. So it's going to need a top and a bottom of the candy box. And so to do that, I need a little bit of a spacer in between. So I'm going to use some of these little wood blocks from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to use hot glue to attach those. And I'm just going to kind of scatter these out around the heart, just gluing to one side, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, 1 on each side, and even some here in the middle. And then put hot glue on each one of those and stick the next heart on there. And it's going to give me this shape that's kind of similar to a little candy box full of hearts, because I really want these DIYs to be like, to remind me of when I was younger, but even going further back with kind of a Victorian vibe. But the candy box really kind of reminds me of classic Valentine's Day. So I want to cover it in fabric. Now, this is just some red fabric that I got at the Dollar Tree. It is super wrinkly, so let's go ahead and iron that first, because I want it to be smooth on our little faux candy heart box. So I'm just going in there with my Easy Press and getting rid of all those wrinkles first. And this piece was definitely large enough to cover the box. I'm not really going to be able to cover the back with the red, but I'll show you how I finish it off and make it look more finished. So after we got that iron, we can start attaching that to our little candy heart. Now, it's kind of a tricky shape to cover with fabric, but I'll take you through the steps here and show you exactly how I did it. So the first step is I'm going to put probably like a medium layer of Mod Podge all over this heart. I usually do really thin layers when I'm working with like a fine paper, but this is, you know, a fabric. So I'm going to need enough of it to stick through, but I don't want too much that it's really going to soak through the fabric. So I get a good coat on there, and then I'm going to smooth that out. And even with just a medium coat, you can see a little bit did come through, but that's okay. And glue that to the front of our heart. Now I want to wrap it around, so I want it to be on the sides as well to fill in the void between the front and the back. And so I'm just going to use hot glue and gather it like that and hot glue it to the back of our heart, starting with like the easiest parts first, the bottom and the sides. So I don't want like excess fabric either, so I'm going to kind of cut that down a little bit right there so that I can get it a little bit tighter, and then hot glue this side on as well. And I will get rid of all this excess fabric once I get it all glued on and secured. Now, working around like the top parts, I'm just kind of gathering it and folding it as need be. And I'm going to do like one section here at a time, just pulling it together and as tight as I can, and then gluing that down with hot glue. Now this part's a little trickier, so I'm going to kind of cut that down in between the middle part of the heart as far as I can go there so that I can pull that fabric tight. And this DIY was so fun to put together. It turned out really cute. Very classic Valentine's Day. So we're going to do the same thing here on the other side, working my way to the center. Now the only problem with this is that there was like a small part there you see at the top that wasn't covered really well, but I am going to try to patch that a little bit. But first I'm just going to cut off all the excess fabric now that I have it all glued down. Just gluing that part where it was a little loose and trimming this side as well. So I'm just going to use some of that fabric I just cut off, and I'm just going to cut like a little triangle piece to try to fill that in a little bit. It's not going to be real noticeable, but I did not want like a void there in the fabric. So just kind of patch that on there a little bit, and that seemed to work. Now I don't want to leave the back looking like this because it looks like a hot mess, and so I'm just going to use some material. This is a fabric tote bag from the Dollar Tree. It can be whatever you got, but I thought this would be just a plain material that I can use to cover the back just to make it look more like a finished product. I hate leaving the backs all crazy on these things. But this fabric is really cool. As you can see, it's a little bit sheer. Wondering what else I can make with these. You know, I'm always buying the bags and stuff at Dollar Tree because I love the fabric. I'm going to kind of sketch out, just with a marker, exactly how big I need this little heart patch to be. I want it to go over all the areas that I just glued down to the back and just kind of finish it off. Doesn't have to look perfect, but it's going to look better than it does right now. So I got that piece cut out, and now I can just glue that on and see how it's just going to kind of finish that off a little bit and make that look a little bit better. And you know, you could do that with another wood heart if you had a third one that you weren't going to use for something else. But fabric is totally going to work. So I just glue all around all the edges. And now we have a finished box. Back to our candy box. And it's looking a little bit better back there. Now I want to decorate the front of our candy box. Now, at first I was thinking I wanted doilies and things that would look traditional, like on a decorated candy heart. But the only doilies I had were these round doilies from the Dollar Tree. And so I thought the smaller size would work. But you know what? After I made this DIY, I was at Dollar Tree today and I found that they have these doilies in white in a heart shape that would be perfect for this. So if you're going to recreate this DIY, you could even do it with a heart-shaped doily. It's going to make it look even cuter, but we're going to make it work with what we have. And my stash is huge, so I need to craft with what I've got. And so I'm just using a thin layer of Mod Podge on the back of that doily and kind of centering that on our heart. Now, once I get it on there and glued, I can see that you can kind of see a little bit through the paper doily. So I thought I would just double that up with one more. I don't want any of that red showing through that like thin white fabric. And this also kind of gave me like a faux ruffle by having like the 2 layers of the doily, because I'm only gluing like the center parts down. I'm letting like all the ruffled edges of the doily kind of stand up, and I really like that effect. It kind of made it look, you know, more 3D, more like ruffles, which I was not going to attempt to try to make. Now, my original idea was to use this little love sign that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's brass and it's beautiful, but I thought it was going to kind of smash down those doilies and kind of take away some of their charm, so I actually decided not to use that sign. But I want to add bling. So these are those little gold like flower jewel border stickers that we used before. And I'm going to go around all the edge of the heart and just outline those with the stickers. Now, I told you that these do not stick as well as the dots, and this was definitely where it happened. Once I made this, the next day I came in and like a lot of these were trying to come up, so I do go back and hot glue these on to make sure they stay in put, but they are really beautiful. So just like the dots, you can kind of pull on the string of glue and kind of start and stop them wherever you need to. But I think that added just the perfect amount of bling to our sign. And at this point, I was like, gonna try to use this. And then I just decided I didn't really like it. I love the little love sign. I'm gonna have to find another way to use that. But I do want my little candy box to stand up. So I'm gonna use one of these giant Jenga blocks from Five Below, and we're just gonna glue that on the back. So it's gonna kind of like sit to one side there and stand it up. Now I did find a great replacement. These are from the Dollar Tree as well. These little heart decors, they come on little wire hangers. And I thought this one that says "You Are So Loved" with the gold glitter was perfect. It matches our colors perfect. It's the perfect size. So I just took it off the wire and I'm just gonna hot glue that onto our doily. And I do get that heart shape that I was looking for there. But this would be super cute with the heart-shaped doily. So if you recreate this with a heart-shaped doily, or if not, be sure to show me. I want to see it. Now to fill the little hole in that ornament, I just take one of those flower stickers that we used all around the edges and just used that. I think the glitter on there is perfect. The colors are perfect. I'm so glad I thought to use that. Now this is the next day, but you can see how it kind of lifted off all around the edges. And I was like, oh, that's totally not going to work. So I do go in here and kind of peel it up and glue it back down with hot glue, trying not to cause any damage. And pretty much all of it's going to have to be hot glued. I don't know what I was thinking. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to stick to the fabric that well, but it really didn't stick to the fabric very well. But that's okay. We solved the issue. We have our little candy box again. I think this is like so whimsical and fun, and it looks great in my cabinet for Valentine's Day, and it's pretty large too. I'm going to sit this on my top shelf next to that little heart tree that we just made, kind of on my biggest shelf. Now I wanted to use one of these great wall tiles, a Happy Valentine's Day sign, and we're going to thrift a sign. So I actually got this half price at Goodwill for 50 cents. You know, I love a good thrift sign. You can get these heavy wood signs like this. It's going to be better quality than what you're probably going to be able to find at the Dollar Tree. So just going to clean this little tray up a little bit. I want to make a Happy Valentine's Day sign, but I want it to be gorgeous and ornate like all of the Valentine's Day DIYs we're doing today, with these colors that I picked out for my Victorian Valentine's Day. So we're going to mix up some more of that mint green paint. And I wanted to cover the front of it with one of these wall tiles. I love these from the Dollar Tree. The texture on there is just amazing. The only problem is it's a little shorter than my sign. But you know what? I said I think we can probably make this work, and it worked out perfectly. So if your sign that you're using is not the right size, you can totally work with it. I'm just going to line up one end and just use a Sharpie on the back so I know where to cut. And I'm going to cut this kind of in half. Now this is a self-adhesive tile, but when you cut it like that, It's hollow inside, so it's not going to be stuck together. So I like to just go ahead and peel the whole thing off and just have like the textured tile. And then I thought we could just attach that to the front of this sign. It's going to cover up kind of all the words and everything that was on there before. And this is going to give us a beautiful background for this Valentine's Day sign. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm like, oh, you know, this is made out of plastic. I wonder if hot glue melts plastic signs. So I hot glue it on, which works well. But then as I'm smoothing it out, as you can see, there's like little areas where I put the hot glue. Yes, it does kind of melt it. Do you see that? You can kind of see the lines through there. So you might want to be careful if you're using hot glue. I do use this on another DIY today, and I changed up my glue because of that. But this is going to kind of be a background sign, so I thought we could probably get away with it. I'm going to leave the sides exposed like that. I just kind of centered it, and so I can just do 2 borders along the signs later and kind of fill in some texture over there. So we've got this beautiful mint green paint, and that's what I want this sign to be. I want it to be this beautiful mint green background. And so this is like a boxy wood sign. So I'm just going to quickly go over all 4 sides and paint them that beautiful like mint green color. And then we're going to go over the front of the sign as well. I kind of started with like a foam brush, but I found that I was having trouble getting in between all the little grooves and everything in this beautiful pattern. So I do switch it up to a brush to really get in there. I want as much coverage as I can. I don't really want any of that gray shining through. And then I went in and gave it a good dry with my heat gun. And look how pretty it's looking already. I'm loving this texture. So I want to bring it out. So I'm going to use that metallic gold acrylic paint that we got at Dollar General and a makeup sponge. And I'm just dragging it lightly over the top to try to bring out that beautiful design, that beautiful texture on there. Kind of similar to what we did on the tray. So I'm just dragging it all over. You can see the beautiful like flower pattern like appear there. And any part that's raised, I'm trying to get a little in there. Now, it's kind of hard not to get it all over the background, and it's okay if you do, but if you get a little too much, you can carefully go over it with a baby wipe, but be careful because you might take the paint off. So I go over it once, and then I'm just going over it a second time just to try to bring out any details that I can. And I love how this made this look. It looks like so like old and just gorgeous. Just a beautiful texture on there. And then I thought I might as well distress the sides, so I just kind of dragged the gold on the sides as well, just kind of distressing, following that up with a baby wipe, just to kind of make it all kind of the same colors. And look at that background. Isn't that beautiful? Can you tell that's a 50-cent sign from Goodwill? And it's the perfect size for one of these little wood Happy Valentine's Day signs from Dollar Tree. So the first thing we're going to do is just cut the hanger off of this because we're not going to need that. And we can start decorating this. I'm going to have lots of bling, lots of beauty in this DIY as well. I'm going to fill in the holes the hangers were with a little bit of spackle to get us started, just so I don't have to worry about that later on. Now, this says Happy Valentine's Day. It's got like some wooden hearts on it. Some stand up and some don't. But what I'm going to do is just go in and paint the whole thing ivory. And then we'll go back and add red hearts later to bring that out. I thought, again, I kind of wanted like the white words. I thought that was really going to pop out well on the blue. That way we can make all the hearts like bright red because I love red hearts for Valentine's Day. So I'm just I started out using a makeup sponge, but I was like, oh, this sign is too large. I had to like kind of switch it up here to a foam brush. Just going all over the sign, trying to get all of the heart areas as well. And make this beautiful ivory color. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to leave it just like this. You know your girl's going to add some bling because we're doing bling for Valentine's Day this year. I warned you guys I was going to do bling for Valentine's Day. And so then I was like, instead of painting the hearts, I could use some of these little wood heart stickers from the Dollar Tree, because that way they're going to give me these beautiful pops of red, and I don't have to worry about painting it and getting it on my sign and stuff like that. So I thought that would be the easiest fix. And these little red ones were the perfect size. So I'm just going to attach these little wooden red hearts everywhere on the sign that's got like a heart that size. There's one there, one here, and a few more as well. The only one that is a different size is that bigger heart there to the right of Happy. And I actually found a wood heart that was larger that would cover that as well. I love DIYing with these for Valentine's Day every year. These little wood hearts, they're perfect, and they're already painted red. So how easy is that? So I'm just going to glue that one on there as well. And we have our little Happy Valentine's Day sign. It's really cute. And we can add this to that beautiful background. Doesn't that look really cool together? I think, yeah, this might be my favorite DIY today. I thought it was the tray, but I'm kind of partial to this. I really like it. So I'm just going to put hot glue kind of in strategic places. Don't really want any to bleed out, but I want this sign to be glued flat to this background. And since I'm gluing to kind of such a bumpy surface, I want to make sure that I really push that down well and our glue can adhere. I don't care if it melts it at this point because underneath of it, you wouldn't be able to see it underneath the sign. And then I thought, you know, on the two edges where we didn't have the tile, we could use some of this gold flowery border like we used before. And I'm going to go down each side of that. But at this point, I had learned my lesson that it probably wasn't going to stick on its own. So just a bead of hot glue first. And I think I'm kind of glad that, you know, it wasn't big enough to go side to side on the sign because I love this detail this adds. So I first measure, tear off the excess pieces, and then just hot glue this down over here. Isn't it looking cute? I love it, and I almost left it like this, but then I thought bling. It just needs more bling, right? So we're going to use some more of those little shiny red dot stickers from the Dollar Tree. And I thought we could make all of these red hearts like kind of textured just by outlining those in that red dot pattern, just in a simple heart shape. Just super easy, just push one down. Now, these are a lot stickier than those other stickers, and I haven't had any problems with these coming up. But if you do, and you like had painted your surface or something, you might need to add a little bit more glue, but so far so good on these. And I'm just doing the same thing on all 5 of our red hearts, just outlining them in the dots. It's going to provide a little bit more texture for the sign and definitely a little bit more bling. Then I thought one of the little red heart gemstones would be really cute for the eye in Valentine's Day. Again, they're a little tricky to peel off. I'm trying my best there. And then I'm just going to glue that one down in the heart just for a little bit more red shine. And then I thought, you know, more bling. So I'm going to use the little white dots too, the ones that kind of remind me of pearls. And I thought the N and the T on Valentine's Day are super like swirly and pretty. So I thought we could add a little bling to those as well. So I'm going to go up like the tail here of our N. So easy to start and stop with those. And then I'm also going to do this beautiful like T. You really could bling it out and do all the letters, but I'm going to restrict myself to 2, right? And I just think it turned out so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the letters. So I'm going to do the inside part of the T and the inner parts of the N. And I think that's finally maybe enough bling for this DIY. It just turned out so lovely. I could not be happier with this DIY. Look how pretty it is. I love the antique like tin look of those little tiles. and then all of the bling and decor that we added to it for Valentine's Day. I think it's perfect. And here is how it looks in my house. You can really see like that gold detail and all those beautiful colors, how they work so well together. It looks different with not quite as much lighting as well, too. Okay, next DIY is going to be pretty simple. We're going to use one of these long red candles. They always have these at the Dollar Tree, and then I thought we could bling it out a little bit. So we're going to use some of this metal ribbon. They have this in like a couple different like styles. I think it's really pretty. I sometimes struggle with how to use it, but I have used it on like a jar before, and I really kind of liked the results. So I thought I would measure out a piece of this. It's pretty thick to cut through. I'm using my floral scissors from the Dollar Tree, but you'll definitely have to use some heavy-duty scissors to cut through this. You're going to want to cut it a little longer than you need because I find that it glues to itself better than it glues to glass. So I decided I want to line like the top and the bottom of this red candle. And this is actually the same red candle that we used in the gingerbread coffee bar DIY. I just peeled off the decal and the ribbon on there, and we're going to reuse it. But I don't want it to be the silver metal. I want it to be that gold bling we're using. And I wasn't sure how well this would paint, but I'm using that gold metallic paint, and I'm just doing very thin coats and then drying in between. And it actually painted really well. I'm going to make sure I don't go like bending back and forth a lot because I want the paint to stay on there. But it took, I think, a good 3 coats here. Just using a baby sponge with that gold metallic. Just because I want to add some bling to this candle. I kind of want to pair this with that little heart tree that we made before to finish off the top of my cabinet. So I just attached it with hot glue to the glass and then coming around and then kind of hot gluing it to itself here at the bottom. Now you have to hold it on there for a while because it is kind of tricky to get it to dry. And then we're going to do the same thing up here on the top part of the candle. The great thing about using the metal ribbon like this is that it is not, you can light the candle and you're not going to have any problems with anything being flammable. So that's really cool. So it's totally blinged out on the top and the bottom of our candle. And then I thought it needed a little bit more bling. So we're going to use some of those little dot stickers. I thought the ones that look like pearls, the white ones, trying my best to do a straight line. And I want to wrap that all the way around the candle, sticking that on. So far, those have stuck pretty good to the glass. And then another one down here to kind of do a different row. And we're going to go all the way around the candle and just bling this candle out. I love decorating with these candles for every season because Dollar Tree always has these in so many different colors. And, we use decals for the gingerbread. Now I'm adding some of these stickers, and it's really going to go with like that Victorian classic Valentine's Day vibe we got going on today. And we're going to finish it off with one of those little glitter heart foam stickers in the large size right here in the middle in the front of our candle. And this DIY could not be any easier, and I think it really looks like $1 million. This really reminded me of something that you would see while you were touring a castle or something very vintage. And this is how it turned out. Our little Valentine's Day candle. This one was the easy one for you because I've had some hard ones for you. Try to mix it up a little bit. Now, the next DIY, we're using this expensive piece of trash. It is a Dinty Moore can. And you know what? I cannot remember the last time I crafted with a can. But I wanted a little vase, and I thought, in olden days, they used to decorate with 10 cans all the time, so let's go for it. I think this could be fun. So kind of wanted a shorter can, so my son loves Dinty Moore beef stew, so I'm using one of his cans. I just cleaned it out really good, took the label off, not even worrying about the paper on there. I think it's going to be fine, and we're using that same gold acrylic paint that we used on our DIYs today. I did do a thin coat the first time, and then I'm just going to go in there after I dry it and do a second coat. And it made this can look very much like brass, very pretty, very vintage looking. And I thought this would be the perfect little vase for some red flowers. And I'm going to use those red mums that you see there. Those were the only red flowers that I had. And I am really trying to go through my flower stash because it is out of control. Because I always think I need flowers. Now, I found this great free printable, and I will post a link to all these below. If I can't share the actual website, I will put it in our Facebook group as a file. But I just printed this out just on regular paper. It's a beautiful, Victorian old Valentine scene. And it was a little tricky to cut out, just kind of randomly go around the flowers. But I did my best to cut out the little heart. And then we're just going to decorate the front of our little can. Kind of reminds me of a coffee can with that beautiful little Valentine image. So could not be any easier. We got some trash to treasure today, and I had a lot of fun actually DIYing with an old can. So I do a thin layer of Mod Podge on the front here, large enough for our little heart, and we're just going to stick that on there. I kind of want it to pick up that texture of the can and kind of get in there like it's like a real label. So I'm going to smooth that out to Mod Podge that on, kind of cleaning up the can while I'm at it. Super cute. I love this design and the colors are perfect. So once I get that dry, I do go over it with another thin coat of Mod Podge to seal that on. I don't want that going anywhere, and I am using the glossy Mod Podge just because I'm going for everything is going to be glitz, shiny, all that good stuff today for our glamorous vintage Valentine's Day. So this is how our little can is looking. It did pick up the texture of the can a little bit, and I've got it on there pretty good and tight. And I think that's going to be a really cute front for this little vase. So it's almost kind of the size of a big peanut container almost, the Stinty Moore can. And I'm just going to use some floral foam from the Dollar Tree. Just cut the corners off so it will fit down in there. And then these are red mums. Looks like I have these left over from 4th of July. You can use whatever you've got. Mums is not traditionally what you think of as a Valentine's Day flower, but I thought it might add to the funness of all these projects today, the vintage and everything like that. And I just use the word funness. I don't think that's a word, Julie. And I'm just going to use my floral scissors and cut these down kind of short because this is going to be a short, squatty little planter. And we're going to use all these red mums, filling up our little tin can. It's looking pretty cute. It does have the little Valentine on the front, but I thought we could add maybe a little bit more to it with a little bit more decor in the pot. I like the mums, but I thought some of these little red glitter hearts, these are a vase filler from the Dollar Tree. I think they have these on picks, but I couldn't find any. So we're going to make little picks just using some of these skewers. So they are a little too long though, so I just kind of break them off and then stick them down into the tip of our little foam heart. And then we have some little heart picks, but you could totally use the ones that are already put together. But we're going to make do. When you're putting them in the heart, just be really careful that you don't go all the way through the foam heart. Once you start pushing on it, it's kind of easy to go all the way through it. And I thought 3 would be really cute, just kind of sticking out of the flowers. Another little touch of Valentine's Day to this little DIY. And this was so easy to put together. I think it turned out so vintage, so fun. And here is how it looks. Isn't that image beautiful? It says, "To my sweetheart," with some little cherubs hugging each other. And there's another DIY coming up that's going to coordinate well with that. So I wanted to make some hearts to come down the sides of my cabinets. And I got this little welcome sign. If you remember from my shopping haul, it doesn't spell welcome. They use 2 E's, but that's okay. We're just going to use the back of these. And there's an odd number. There's 7 of them, but I thought that'd be okay. We could like do like 4 hearts down one side, 3 hearts down the other side of my cabinet. I want some big, bright red hearts just to bring out the Valentine's Day. Now, when I pull the staples out of the back, it did kind of pull the wood out a little bit, so I kind of want them to be as flat as I can get. Because the other side has glitter and burlap and all kinds of stuff on it. So I definitely wanted to decorate the back, but so I just used my hammer to kind of smooth that out a little bit. You still can kind of see it, but we're going to decorate these, and so I think it'll be okay. So I wanted bright, bright red. So I thought this red Cricut vinyl from the Dollar Tree would be great. That way I could get that really bright red color. Without having to put like a million coats of paint on these, but you could totally paint them as well. The great thing about this is it's just like peel and stick, and I actually like DIYing with this stuff better than I like using it with my Cricut, because a lot of times this Cricut vinyl from the Dollar Tree, like the backing sticks to my mat, and I've had lots of trouble using it with my Cricut. I've had it's like a 50-50. It's a gamble whenever I use it with my Cricut. But for DIY projects like this, it's perfect. So now I just have to cover all 7 of those hearts. So I can fit like about 3 in a row here. And then I'm just going to go in and cut these out. And you could use your Cricut to cut this out, but you know, by the time you get that all set up, measurements and everything like that, you could have already had them all cut out. So I'm going to do another 3. That's going to bring us up to 7. And I love the fact that they're going to be bright red, but we're also going to decorate them a little bit as well. I'd like to take this moment to thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate you coming back time and time again to watch my videos. And if you are new here, welcome to Crafty Beach. We would love to have you over here on our channel. We are trying to get to 12,000 subscribers. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing and you're new, or if you're not new, we would appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the algorithm, helps more people to see my Crafty Beach videos. And be sure to comment your favorite DIY below when you're done watching the video, or just come say hello. I love reading all of your comments. Even if I don't get a chance to get back to you, I always try to heart your comments, and I definitely make sure that I go in and read every one. And you guys have fabulous ideas. I'm always learning from you guys. Now, the hearts that had burlap on them, I could kind of peel them off, but half of them only have paper on the back, so I couldn't really peel that off, but it doesn't really matter. They're all going to be on the back anyway. And as I'm putting that vinyl on there, you can still see the little bumps on there from where the staples were. So it's not perfect, but I think after we decorate them, we're going to be able to disguise that a little bit. I did a pretty good job of cutting them down to size, but if need be, you could always trim around the edges and clean up your heart shapes. So the first bling I thought we would add is some more of these little red heart stickers. They're not heart stickers, they're dot stickers. And kind of like the hearts that we just did on that Happy Valentine's Day sign, I thought we could just outline these hearts with these as well. It's going to provide texture, and they're not just going to look like sticker hearts. I kind of want them to look a little bit more detailed and a little bit more fun. Now, if you had like a smaller size heart, you could put that on top of them. If you're going to do something like this as well, you could do two-tone. That would be really pretty. You could do one in white, one in blue, gold, any of the colors you're using for your Valentine DIYs. But I'm really loving the fact that we use like that minty green color. I think it really pops next to all this bright red for Valentine's Day. So we're just going around all of these. I found that one package of the little red dots did 6 hearts. Unfortunately, we have 7, but don't worry, I had a partial package of these that I was able to pull it out here at the end. But for a minute, I was thinking I was going to have to use 6. But I bought a lot of bling because I want to make some Valentine's Day trees. That probably won't be my next video, but maybe my second video from now. And so I got lots of bling. Now I do want to add something to the front of those because they're looking a little imperfect. And so I'm going to use some of these little wood love hearts from the Dollar Tree. And I'm picking out the ones that are like unfinished natural wood, which luckily I had 2 packs of them. And so I'm just going to open a second pack to get 2 more here. They have them in red, pink, or natural. I wanted natural because I want to go in and paint them gold to give it that bling that a lot of our DIYs have today. So I'm going to take 7 of the little love hearts. I love crafting. Whenever this stuff comes out, like in the seasonal aisle, I'm always picking up all the little small wooden things like this because there's so many uses for these. They're so versatile. You can add them to just about anything. And just using that gold metallic paint that we got at Dollar General and a makeup sponge, we are going to go over and give these little love hearts some bling. And it did take about 2 coats to make them super shiny. And I think that's going to kind of disguise like the staple stuff we have going on those hearts and kind of give another little blingy detail for these hearts. I'm going to, definitely strand like 4 on one side, 3 on the other. I kind of like the fact that they're going to be a little off center, but I really wanted like hearts like flowing down both sides of my cabinet. I thought that would be really pretty. So this is what it's going to look like with our little gold love hearts on there. And I'm just going to attach those to them with hot glue. I'm just going to kind of go along the top. I think that's going to be enough to keep this all together. And glue that to the front. They're still not perfect. I mean, if you wanted them to be perfect, you could, sand and try to fill like the staple holes in there, or go in and do all that preparation if you were going to paint them. But we were kind of going for easy with these little hearts. And they definitely do give you a pop of color. And I think they have just enough bling. So finishing up number 6 and 7, I was trying to brainstorm what we could use to hang these. Because again, we're going for bling, right? And I actually found this ribbon. I don't know if you'd even call it ribbon, from the Dollar Tree, and it's like the white pearl like mesh kind of. It's like 5 wide. Isn't that pretty? And I thought we could use that. It's going to add more bling to it, and it's going to serve a function to kind of act as the ribbon, like connecting the hearts together. The only problem is there's only 4 feet on the whole roll, and so I'm going to go ahead and use all 4 feet, but I'm kind of trying to measure it out to make sure I'm going to have enough. And I do kind of measure in between the hearts to make sure that I get them on there even too. So I'm just going to use hot glue on the back of my heart, not wasting any of the length of that. So I just do that to the top. And then I'm just going to glue all the way up for our first little one. I'm working on a silicone mat, so it's really good when you're working with hot glue or something like this. It's not going to stick to it. It's going to be easy to clean up with all your hot glue that comes through. And I'm just going to glue that up here. I'm trying to get enough that I can do like 4 hearts on the second one. And so I'm just going to kind of cut it in half there. I use every inch of this. It's so pretty. And I only had 1 roll of that. So it's looking good. Now the other one, we're going to do 4 since we did 3 on that one. And I'm going to kind of space them the same. So I'm just going to kind of set them side by side, use 1 for the reference for the second one. Little cascading hearts. And I'm really glad I did this. I think it turned out really cute and fun. And this cabinet really came together well. So I have a total of 7 hearts. And there they all are. I love that ribbon. If I see any more of that pearl ribbon, I'm definitely going to pick that up because that is so pretty. And such a fun, surprising little detail there for ribbon. So I'm going to go hang these. I have little hooks on both sides to the top of my cabinet because I always like to hang like a pennant banner. And I just kind of strung this over the hook on the side of my cabinet. And this is how it looks hanging down both sides of my cabinet. I think it's really fun. It goes really well with the DIYs that we've done today. Okay, this DIY could not be easier. So I wanted to do like a pennant banner, you know, along the top. And I thought I would use this beautiful heart ribbon lace from the Dollar Tree. This really goes with my theme. And then I thought we could use just some of these. I got these images online and I will share a link. And I actually put 3 together in pages and printed them out all together. I'll see if I can share it like this because I only needed 3. My cabinet's not real wide, but I just made sure they were all 5 inches tall. That way they would all be about the same size, even though they're probably going to be different widths. And they're just these beautiful old vintage Valentines. And they're all different. And so I thought these would be really pretty to string up on that lace ribbon along the top of my cabinet using some of those little clothespins from the Dollar Tree as well. We're going to use the little rose ones. You could totally use any of them though. Like I think there's lips, there's other ones. And just attach it to it. So could not be any easier. Since this is lace ribbon, this goes over my hooks really well too. When I first strung this up like this, I just kind of clipped them all on just to kind of get them on there, kind of like spacing them out. But I do go back and kind of clip them on their corner so that they're hanging more diagonally when they're hanging at the top of my cabinet. And let me show you how that turned out. Aren't they cute? And I think these are the perfect like final touch to the cabinet. My cabinet is finished and it's all beautiful. I can't wait to show you how it all looks together. Here it is, my cabinet. This cabinet's like in my dining area next to my dining table, and I love to decorate it for seasonal DIYs like this, and I think this looks so festive for Valentine's Day. Now don't go anywhere, I still have lots of Valentine's Day DIYs left for you in today's video. I'm going to use one of these beautiful love signs from the Dollar Tree. I love it. It's red with white glitter all over that says love, and then just a thrift sign. And I'm going to make a sign that's going to kind of coordinate with all of this beautiful decor to go in my dining area of my house. It's kind of my kitchen, kind of an eat-in kitchen area. And I think it's going to tie in really well with all the DIYs. So this is our 10th and final Valentine's DIY for you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know this is a long one, but YouTube seems to like it when I make long videos, when I do lots of projects. And so I decided to go with it. I had a total of 6 hours of footage it took me to put all these DIYs together. So this was definitely a multiple day project for me. But this is a chalkboard that I found at Goodwill. And I think it's a perfect size. It's got some kind of decorative corners. And I thought we could use that self-adhesive wall tile that we used before for that Valentine's Day sign to align this. I had one more piece of this, and then we have our scrap piece that we cut off the other sign from before. So I'm just going to decorate the back of this. It doesn't really matter. It looks like this was like maybe a sign somebody bought for their wedding or something like that. And I'm just going to kind of use a Sharpie to kind of draw the size, cutting off the perfect length, also cutting out the cute little corners. And we're going to cover it. I kind of wanted to tie in with that 10 look that we did before. It's going to kind of coordinate this sign with the sign that we made for our shelf. And then I really wanted to use that red and white love sign. It's really beautiful, and it really reminds me of the one they have at Kirkland's right now, but this one was only $1.25. So I'm scared to use hot glue at this point, so I switched it up to some just Dollar Tree glue all adhesive, and it worked. I mean, it's not as fast as hot glue, but if you're worried about melting the design at all, definitely use a different kind of glue. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that side down. Now with that scrap piece that we had from earlier, we should be able to finish it off and cover the entire front of this sign. Now, the only thing about this is that there was a small part here where it was kind of bent. Their seam is kind of weird where it kind of tapers off and then starts back up when you put two of these together. But I did trim it down, but I only trimmed it down just because it was bent a little bit there. So I'm going to kind of line that up on there how it should be and kind of draw out with a Sharpie the exact shape I need to cut out. And we can patch the rest of that sign in. I was making sure I was cutting it the right way because this was my last piece of this stuff. I really like it though. I'm definitely going to be buying more of this. I used this on some of my large Christmas ornaments that I made for my window and I just loved it. It's so pretty. I love the texture. I had to get more. Just trimming that up to a perfect size, and then we're going to glue this side down as well. Now I wanted to do this in the same kind of color scheme with like that mint green. We got the red and white sign I'm going to put on the front of it. And I just love how ornate all of these DIYs were today. You know, totally outside my comfort zone, totally different from anything I've DIY'd before. But I really hope you guys are enjoying these vintage Valentine's Day decorations. Sometimes with a holiday like Valentine's Day, it's really fun to go, you know, old school. And so that's what we're going with. I do poke 2 holes because I do want this to be a hanging sign. And I thought I would do that now before I start painting it. So we're going to mix our mint green color. Again, we use turquoise white and green. But if you can find the right shade, it's going to be another step saved. And then we're going to go in and paint this whole sign. I really loved how that other sign turned out with like the mint green with like the gold texture. And so I'm going to try to do the same thing with this sign. And I really love how this sign turned out. It's really nice and large. And I have like a really large wall hanging in my dining area. So I don't have a lot of room for more artwork, but I have a little bit of room and I think this is going to fit in really well. My large wall hanging in my dining room is actually a shower curtain that I DIY'd into a giant canvas back before I was on YouTube. And I actually have a couple of those projects in my house. It's a really inexpensive way to get giant canvas art for your walls. And really not that hard to assemble. Okay, so we painted it green, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. Getting our money's worth out of that bottle of gold metallic paint we got at Dollar General. Just dragging it, kind of working in one direction, really trying to pick up any and all texture. Doesn't that make like a significant difference from just painting it one color? Totally loving it. And it's kind of hard to not go crazy and get a lot of it on the back. But you can always go in and touch it up. I was only putting paint on like half the sponge. Sometimes I would use the back of the sponge to try to clean it up a little as I went. But if you're careful, you can go over it with just a baby wipe. Kind of clean it up a little bit. Just kind of like with distressing, you're just going to work with it until you're happy with it. Now I set the sign aside. I have no idea why it's so wet at the top. I must have set it next to my wet wipes or something it picked up the moisture from, but we're going to go with it. I'm going to decorate up there anyway, so I think we can kind of cover the damaged part there, but I have no idea what happened to it. Now, I thought that this heart would look really kind of vintage and fun if we use some of this pom-pom garland to decorate it, and it's also going to finish off this rough edge of the heart that was going to be visible before. If we put that on the front of that 10 sign or faux 10 sign. So I just did a thin bead of hot glue along the edge of that heart sign. This is definitely my favorite Valentine's Day sign I found there. I was going to DIY this with like Cricut vinyl and put the word love all over it. My goodness, it would have taken me forever to weed it. But I saw a love sign, a heart sign like this at Kirkland's that was almost exactly the same as this print for way more than $1.25. So I'm just going to kind of work one section at a time, trying to do a thin bead of hot glue as I can. And I really love the texture. It's adding to this sign, and it's definitely finishing off the edges and definitely giving that heart, like that vintage vibe we're going with today. And I don't even mind all of the white glitter on the front of the sign because it kind of goes with the bling. So almost around to the bottom, we're just going to keep gluing until it's completely covered and then cut off the rest of that pom-pom garland. I love working with that stuff. They get it in all different colors at Dollar Tree, like red and green for Christmas, like red and pink and white for Valentine's Day. It's so cute. And kind of like spread that out a little bit. I don't want any of those pom-poms to get like glued under the heart, so I'm making sure they're all kind of sticking out at this point. And then I'm just going to use hot glue because, again, if it's melted like under the sign, I don't really care. But putting a good amount of hot glue on there because I want this to be secure and stay put when I'm hanging this on the wall. And as you can see, that sign was almost the perfect size. It does overlap it slightly, but that's okay. And that's got so much detail on the sides. I think that's going to be enough decor there. I did want to do something at the top. I was trying to decide between a bow or something for Valentine's Day. And what I decided to go with was the little felt roses from the Dollar Tree. I thought that would be really pretty. It's going to add, you know, some more fabric. It's perfect for Valentine's Day with the little roses. And they come in a package of 4, but I thought an odd number would work best. So we're just going to use 3. We're going to use like one of the larger ones and like 2 of the smaller ones in lieu of a bow. And it's going to, I'm kind of cover up all that water damaged area there on my sign. And I'm glad actually because I love how this part turned out. So just attaching all 3 of our little felt roses with hot glue. I love those roses. I always pick them up when I see them. And I think that is beautiful. Now I want to hang this sign on my wall. I didn't really want to use like a twine hanger like that was on there before. I kind of wanted something to go more with our color scheme. So I'm going to use some of this just red and white baker's twine and string that through kind of from the back. I like to use my little Cricut weeder to kind of act like a needle, kind of fish that through if I'm having difficulty getting string through a wire. I like to tie them off in the front. This twine's pretty tiny, and so I do tie it like 3 times to make a knot large enough because I don't want that coming through. And then we're going to do the same thing here on the other side. And I'm not going to add a bow or anything else to it. I think this definitely has enough detail, definitely enough bling. And I really love the combination of like the aqua blue with the red for Valentine's Day. I think it's fun. Let me show you how this one turned out. And then I kind of want to switch things up. So the next 10 DIYs, instead of the vintage Valentine's Day that we've been doing, we're going to switch it up and do like a more glam, more pink, sparkly Valentine's Day decor, if that is more your vibe. First up, let's DIY some Valentine's Day trees. I'm going to use one of these pencil cups from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to use a couple items to try to put this tree together. I'm going to use some glitter vinyl from the Cricut, from Crafter Square at Dollar Tree, and some of these flexible cutting mats from the kitchen section. I was looking for something sturdier than just paper to build these little Valentine's Day trees, and so I thought this would be perfect. So I'm just going to kind of roll it into a spiral cone shape. making it kind of narrow there at the end, but leaving the end large enough that the little pencil cup is going to fit in there upside down. I wanted to use the pencil cup for the form, but also for the weight to make the tree a little bit more substantial and not tippy. So I'm going to use a little dot of hot glue here on the corner of that cutting mat and gluing that in place to keep it in that shape. And that looks pretty good. It's a pretty decent sized Valentine's Day tree. I got this idea from, I think Marshall's. I saw some really beautiful blinged out Valentine's Day trees, and I thought, I bet I could make that with supplies from the Dollar Tree. So I glue the bottom, and then it's kind of hard to cut. Make sure you get some sharp scissors. I am going to cut the excess vinyl off the bottom, and so that I can fit my little cup inside. It's still a little uneven, so I'm just going to trim it up a little bit and make it look smooth. I want like cone-shaped Valentine's Day trees, and I think that looks just about right. So I just need to find a way to attach the little pencil cup to our little plastic tree. So I just do a bead of hot glue all around the edges of the bottom. And then I'm just going to sit the cutting mat tree on top. Now, my first original plan was to cover this tree with that vinyl glitter paper. The only problem that I foresaw with that was that it's really thin. I've worked with that before, and it's going to pick up all the folds that kind of are going all over that tree from the cutting mat being kind of in a spiral fashion. So I need to find something that's going to kind of block all the wrinkles. And so I decided to use some poster board, also from the Dollar Tree. You get 4 in a pack. I like working with this size because you don't have to cut it down, the large sheets. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of wrap it around just like I did before with the cutting mat, with the vinyl paper, to see how much of the vinyl paper I need, and then just kind of cutting out enough that's going to cover the entire tree. Now, I do change my strategy when I do like next trees. I get a little bit more efficient with this, but I'm just going to peel and stick that to the paper poster board and just make sure that it is nice and smooth. I like working with this Cricut paper from the Dollar Tree, but only for crafts. I hate using it on my Cricut. Then I'm just going to trim off the excess poster board. And this is going to provide a little bit more stability to the tree as well, but it's going to give me a nice smooth surface for my tree. So I'm going to kind of wind it around just like I did before, kind of tucking the corner in and rolling it around. So to do that, I'm going to start with just this little corner up here at the top, and I'm just going to attach that with a little bit of hot glue and make sure that dries. And then I can roll up the vinyl and the poster board to cover the tree. I had no idea how I was going to put these together, so this was definitely a learning experience, but I think they turned out beautiful. I hope you do too. So I do a bead of hot glue all along the outside there of the tree, which is going to be the seam, which I'll just make that the back of my tree. And then I'm just going to cut off the excess. And we have a little pink glitter tree. I think that's a lot easier than trying to cover something in glitter. And I'm getting like all of that sparkle and sheen. Just trimming it down to make sure the bottom of it is nice and even. Now comes the fun part. It's time to add bling to our Christmas tree. I picked up a ton of pink bling. A lot of you guys saw this stuff on my shopping haul. And it's time to decorate. So I thought this little like flower-like bead would be like a great garland to go down the tree. And so I chose like the light pink one. It's got like a little pearl in there. It kind of looks like a flower. Now, note to self, I'm just putting these on with the adhesive that's on there. But the next day, they were definitely coming off. So I had to go back and hot glue this on. So know that these are not super sticky, especially on that glitter paper. If you're going to recreate, definitely put down a thin bead of hot glue or some other kind of glue to make sure they stay on there, at least at the beginning and the end of each row, because trust me, they will fall off. So I just go around in a spiral fashion all the way down and just kind of make it work. Now I'm checking out the rest of my bling, seeing what else will look really pretty. And I got this jewel border. It's a lot shorter. It's a soft pink color again, but like it's a lot more intricate, super pretty. And I'm going to try that as well as a garland. And this is the same thing, and this is not going to stick well. I did have to go back and hot glue at least the beginning and the end of each one of those pieces on there to make sure it stays put, because it will come loose over time. But I was trying to do the easiest option first for you guys. Some of their stickers are really sticky and some are not. So it is shorter, so I did have to open some more to have enough to finish it off. And then for some more bling, I decided to use some of these light pink gemstone stickers from the Dollar Tree. They're little hearts and they're so cute. Now these are individually glued. These are a little stickier. I don't think I've had any of these pop off, but you know, you might want to glue them on. They are a little gooier, but you have to be really careful when you're peeling them off the sheet, that you take the glue with you. You don't leave it on the plastic. I filled like so much of this tree up with garland. I just have like little pink glitter paths in between the garland, and I'm just working 2 at a time just to make it a little bit faster and just filling in all of the holes kind of in a random fashion, but making sure like all of my hearts still stay upright. And this tree is getting the bling treatment. I love this idea of Valentine's Day trees. I think they're really fun, especially since Valentine's Day is still in winter. And I was trying to decide at this point whether I wanted to add a tree topper or not, or just leave it a cone shape. And I decided a tree topper would be really cute on there as well. So that's what it looks like so far. And then I am going to use some of these little pink glitter hearts, like they're foam hearts, I guess. It's a perfect size for a little lightweight tree topper there. And I'm just going to attach that to the top of our little Valentine's Day tree with a little hot glue. And our first little Valentine's Day tree is complete. I think these turned out so cute. I make a total of 3 of these today. And this is Valentine's Day tree number 1. I'm glad that I bought all this bling now because it has definitely come in handy. Just making sure that my glue is dry there on my heart. And I think it looks really pretty. Lots of bling. These DIYs today are going to be very fun, very glam for Valentine's Day. And so here is our first little Valentine's Day tree. Isn't it all that glamorous? I just love it. I think it's so much fun. Okay, guys, are you ready for another one? We are going to make another one with another pencil cup and another cutting mat, but we're going to do this one a little differently. We're going to go different colors, different items. So I'm going to roll it up the same way that I did before. Actually, I think I may have rolled it like the opposite way. No, this looks the same. And then I am just gluing the tip down. It looked different there for a moment. And making sure that I get the width just right so the pencil cup will fit in there perfectly. And now I'm just going to put the pencil cup in there so I know exactly how much of the plastic to trim off for this tree. Okay, so I'm going to attach it the same way. I'm going to go around with just a bead of hot glue around the edges and stick our tree on there. The only challenging part was getting like the tip of the cone tight, but since I'm using a tree topper on them, it leaves a perfect little hole for that. Now, this is some more of that glitter vinyl from the Dollar Tree, but this one is like a very soft pink. It's almost like a rose gold color. It's super pretty. So I'm going to use that and another piece of this poster board. And you know, that comes in white or black. It's not really going to matter what color you use. because you're not going to be able to see it. So this time I decided to just peel off the paper, or peel off the glitter paper and stick it to the vinyl first, trying to make this a little bit easier, and then kind of seeing if I glue that to it exactly like kind of where I left off with that piece to get the right angle, then I can just wrap it around and just save a few steps. So I see how much I need to cover the entire tree, and then trim off the excess, do a bead of hot glue, and then roll it around. See, I'm getting good at this, guys. And then I can trim off the rest of the poster board and the vinyl. Just trimming it up and making it look good. And this is where we're at so far. Super pretty color. I'm really digging that. Now it's the fun part. We get to add more bling. So I'm going to use this, the flower sticker again, and use that as garland. This tree, though, I'm not going to have as much garland. I'm probably going to have more ornaments on this one, just to kind of mix it up. But I am going to do it like in the same direction, just wrapping that around. And reminder, don't forget to glue the ends of this, because I did have to go back and hot glue the ends of both those pieces. So just a simple like 2 times around. And then I was trying to find things that I could bling it out with. And I got a bunch of packages of these stickers. They're like gemstones. And I thought they'd be perfect for Valentine's Day because they're all different colors of pink and red. And so I'm going to kind of use like, there's all different sizes on there. I'm going to use like the medium ones. And there's like 2 different colors of pink. And I'm just going to just start adding those just everywhere. And I've had a few of these pop off, so if you are worried about that, you might want to glue them on, but otherwise they've stayed on pretty good. And I'm just kind of trying to be random with the different shades of pink and trying to get pretty good coverage all over. Lots of little ornaments on this Valentine's Day tree. I kept looking for holes, I kept finding holes, and I kept adding more gemstones. Now this has a really tiny gemstone on there. I didn't really use any of those. I just kind of stayed with all of like the medium size. And we'll use those large ones for another project today. Do you think it has enough bling yet? I think we're getting close. And that's how it looks so far. So I thought I would use another one of those little pink glitter hearts. These also come in red. That would be cute as well, but I was trying to stick with a pink theme on these little trees. Just going to open up the top of that, kind of closed up on me a little bit, and attach my little heart tree topper with hot glue. And these are pretty easy. I mean, the only time-consuming part is probably decorating them, but that's also kind of the fun part, so take your time and enjoy with the decorating part. And this is how our second little Valentine's Day tree turned out. I love the soft pink colors. I think it's so pretty for Valentine's Day. Now, I did not want all of my Valentine's trees to be the same height, but I'm using the same materials. I'm using a pencil cup and the cutting mat. And let me show you how you can make one like a little bit taller, so that you have a little bit of variety when you pair them all together. So I'm going to start like kind of the same way, just by rolling the cutting mat into a cone shape. But I was trying to do like maybe a narrower cone than I did before, trying to get it as tight as I can. Sometimes if you put your hand inside and roll it, you can get it tighter. And then I'm going to kind of sit it on top of my pencil cup like that. That way I'll get more height. So I glued the tip down just like I did before, but we just have a narrower tree. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim around to give me a flat bottom on the tree. And then I can attach that to the pencil cup. And since I don't have like kind of the edges like I did before, I'm just going to do a bead of hot glue along the inside of the tree and glue that to the mesh on the metal pencil cup. And you can use cups for the bottom. You could kind of use whatever you've got, as long as it's got kind of that sloping fashion on the side. Now, I decided to switch it up and use some of this. This is also Cricut vinyl from the Dollar Tree, but it's like a silver holographic. Not glitter, but I thought it might be fun. So let's try a holographic Valentine's Day tree. So again, I'm using a piece of that poster board from the Dollar Tree and cutting a piece of vinyl down to size. And I kind of like the idea of peeling and sticking it to the poster board first. Just makes it easier and saves a step. Now, I was trying to get this all smoothed out. There are a few bumps on there, but I'm not too worried because I'll just put ornaments there. We'll put some bling there. And kind of cutting off the excess. Now, I was worried how I was going to cover this with this to make sure that I have enough to cover the entire tree, but I'll show you how I did that. To start off, I just went straight up and down to glue it on and tried to roll it, trying to use every little inch of poster board and vinyl that I could find, cutting off a straight line and rolling that to glue it to itself. Now you'll see I came really close to covering the whole thing, but there is like a little triangular area there that didn't get covered, but that's okay. We will just go ahead and patch it. We have some excess material, and also, you know, I had a little hot glue bleed out on that, so I decided to make a little patch. I'm just going to make a really long triangle. That way it'll cover that bare spot on the bottom of the tree, and also like the hot glue that I must have just used too much. And this will be the back of the Valentine's Day tree anyway, so it won't matter that there's seams back there. So now it's the fun part again. We're going to try to decorate this thing. And this was kind of a surprise. This was called glitter ribbon. I got this at the Valentine section at the Dollar Tree, but I was not expecting it to be adhesive. I opened it up and it had like a peel off back. I was like, okay, yeah, we'll go with this. I guess it's used for scrapbooking. I thought it was just ribbon. I was kind of confused, but I'm like, okay. So I'm going to peel and stick. Now, this stuck pretty good. The only challenge I really had was trying to get it flat as I went around like those kind of crazy angles. So I kind of take my time and try to smooth it out as I go. And this stayed connected pretty well, but I would probably recommend hot gluing the beginning and the end of this as well. It's going to help it stay on better. And just working my way around to the bottom and cutting that off. And I like that so much I went back and bought more because that's cool. I like the adhesive ribbon. And so now it's time to decorate. I decided to use this pink flower again because I have a lot of it and it's going to kind of make my trees look consistent. But now I have now learned my lesson that they are not going to stay stuck. So this is me hot gluing it on. To make sure it stays on, at least the beginning and the end. You have to be really careful if you're using extremely hot glue like I was. It does kind of melt the adhesive and stuff like that, so you don't want to handle it too much. But you could always use other types of glue as well, or maybe more of a low temp gun. And I glue that end on too. And now I thought we could use some of these little glitter hearts. I love these from the Dollar Tree. They're like foam hearts. And there's like a really pretty soft pink color, kind of in a smaller size. And I thought that'd be a great ornament. Now, these are really sticky. You definitely won't have any problems with these sticking. And I am just going to use those little pink hearts as ornaments all around my tree. Just kind of random fashion, kind of filling it up. And those are super cute. I love these. I use these a lot for winter, the little snowflake ones, but I love the heart ones too. They have them in a variety of colors like this, or you can get them all in red. Just loving them. Then I thought, you know, it probably needs more bling. So I decided to use some of these little pink gemstone hearts on this one as well. I like using some of the same elements on my trees. It helps tie them in together. Since this one is not like a pink glitter, it does give you a total kind of different feel. I really like it though. It's really pretty. And I'm just going to kind of randomly put those in the places that doesn't have any ornaments or decorations yet. just to fill it out a little bit. Yeah, it needs one more. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to add another one of those little pink glitter hearts as a tree topper. And actually, I go back on this tree and add a little bit more bling because, hey, you can't have too much bling for Valentine's Day, especially if you're going for a glam look. But that's how it looks with our little tree topper on there. And I decided I liked that pink glitter ribbon, but I thought it needed like a little more texture or, something to stick out a little bit. So I decided to use some of these little stickers from the Dollar Tree, these little bead stickers that come in a row. And I found this really pretty soft pink color. And I thought that'd be a nice contrast on that like more medium pink color. And so I am just gluing these around. Now, normally I don't have any problems with these sticking because they're really sticky, but since I was putting that on the glitter ribbon, I did have to go back and glue the beginning and the end of those as well because they didn't want to stay. But now they're on there for good, and this is how our third and final little Valentine's Day tree turned out. I think it's really pretty. I'm digging that holographic. Super shiny, and it picks up all different colors around it. Kind of looks like a rainbow. Okay, I wanted to make a few items for my kitchen for Valentine's Day, and I found this great glitter XOXO bag at the Dollar Tree, and I thought it was the perfect size to cover one of these little Dollar Tree cutting boards. That way I can kind of stand it in my kitchen, have a little decorative cutting board for Valentine's Day, and see how it fits perfectly underneath the holes for the handle of the bag. So it'll be a full piece. And then I'm just using a Sharpie and tracing out the shape of the cutting board. I wanted to include the XOXO on the side. I don't care if I cut off part of the hearts. And the glitter is only on the front of this bag, and so I'm going to then try to cut off the front of this bag. It's just going to give me a really kind of thicker cardboard piece that's going to be great for crafting with. I love decorating with Dollar Tree gift bags. I think they're so pretty. And this one definitely had the bling. Now the cutting board did have kind of a rounded edge, so I am cutting that too. Just cutting that down to size. So this is definitely going to be just a decorative piece for my kitchen, but I love the amount of bling it brought, and it looks so cute for Valentine's Day. And it only costs $2.50 to make. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up on the back because I also want to cut out like the handle of the cutting board so you can tell that it's a cutting board. And I just draw that out with a Sharpie and then carefully kind of fold it to get my scissors in there to cut around. This part was a little bit tricky, trying to cut it exactly to size. But just take your time and make it work. I also used a gift bag to cover a smaller cutting board for my coffee bar. A very fun idea and super easy. Now, I was trying to decide how I wanted to glue that down. I thought that Mod Podge might be the ticket since it is kind of a paper product. The cutting board, though, is made out of plastic, so I wasn't sure how this was going to work. But I went ahead and put down probably a pretty heavy coat of hot glue all over. Or not hot glue, Mod Podge all over. And then I'm going to lay the paper bag on top. Now, this worked pretty well for like 90% of the bag. But for some reason, once I smooth this out, I just keep smoothing it, trying to make sure I don't have any bubbles. And the only parts that did not want to stay down at all were the two sides. They just, every time I put them down, they kind of like just pop back up. And I don't know if it was just because the paper was so wet or what, but I was trying to get it to stay down. The top and the bottom and the body of it, like it stayed down really well. I'm trying to scrape it, which was kind of hard because of the glitter on there. But I kind of give up on the sides and decide to go in and just hot glue it. I didn't really want to do that because you can kind of see a little ridge there. But I kind of needed to do it because it was not going to stay down just on the edges. Maybe a different type of glue would have worked better. And there it is. You can't get much easier than that. Our little XOXO bling cutting board for Valentine's Day. This is going to look great in my kitchen. I decided to make a few of these pieces for my kitchen today to bring a little bling in for Valentine's Day. And a cutting board is the perfect thing to start with. And this is how it turned out. I love the glitter on the bag. I think it's so pretty. And I love that it says XOXO. Super cute. Okay, guys, I am obsessed with these jars from the Dollar Tree. They are great for $1.25. They're nice and big. They're sturdy. They have a great lid. I am going to DIY a little candy dish for Valentine's Day for my kitchen as well to kind of go with that cutting board that we just made. So just removing the tag from the bottom. I want to bling this, but I don't want to bling the lid because I want to be able to open the lid and close the lid without knocking any bling off. So I thought, how can I bling it? And the first step I decided was to use some of this gold metallic acrylic paint. I get this at Dollar General. And I am just going to paint the silver lid gold just to kind of go with my vibe. That cutting board had gold, and I've used a lot of gold for Valentine's Day this year, so I thought that'd be really pretty. So I just did a thin coat on the top and the sides. I did have to go back and do a second coat to make sure that I cover up all of the silver and I get that good sheen. I love this metallic paint. It's so shiny and fun. You could also do this with spray paint, but it's probably going to be more expensive. And just finishing that up, I think I got pretty good coverage on that. And then I wanted to decorate it some more, but again, I don't want to use like anything that's going to interfere with the function of it. So I thought this adhesive glitter ribbon that we just used would be perfect for around the edges. It's going to add some color, some bling, but it's not going to interfere with being able to undo the candy dish and re-screw the jar lid back on. So I'm just going to peel and stick this around. And this actually has stayed on pretty good. And I love the pink and the gold. It's already starting to look a little bit bling. Then I thought I'd use one of these little red glitter wood hearts for the lid. So I just peel off the little sticky sticker on there and glue that to the lid because I kind of want it to be flat and tight on the lid. Because again, I just want functionality for the lid. I can definitely bling out the jar. So that's the lid. And now let's bling out the jar. So these are the kind of like the pink ones that we've already been using, right? But these are the gold ones. And I know that's not going to stick on the glass. So I definitely hot glued the beginning and the end of each one because now I've learned my lesson. And I'm going to use a couple pieces to go all the way around our jar. I want this to be a candy jar for Hershey Kisses. I think like the holiday kisses are great for Valentine's Day, and the kiss theme definitely goes with Valentine's Day. So that's what I plan to put in there. So I'm going to leave the jar clear. I want those red kisses to show through the glass jar, but I just wanted to add some bling. Now, this is one of those glass stickers from the Dollar Tree, the Crafter Square. It had a big like love heart on there that I used for a previous DIY, but this time we're just going to use the little glass sticker for kiss. And we're actually using it on glass this time, and it fits on there perfectly. And it goes with the Hershey Kisses theme. A cute little label. Then I was thinking, does it have enough bling? And then I'm like, no, it needs more. So I'm going to use some of this kind of iridescent pink heart ribbon from the Dollar Tree, the Valentine's Day section. And I'm just going to attach it with hot glue. I do a dot at the beginning, a dot of glue about halfway through, and then a dot of glue here at the end to make sure it stays on. And I think that's a decent amount of bling on our little candy dish. It's looking super glam for Valentine's Day. And now it's just time for kisses. I picked these up at the Dollar Tree. I got 4 bags. You don't get very many in a bag. Not sure if it's cheaper to get them at the Dollar Tree or somewhere else. But they have the red wrapper, which is what I was looking for. And so I'm just going to fill this up. I probably could have fit a few more bags in here if I wanted, but that's probably going to be good. And I just love these jars. They are great for storage. I also made a snow globe with this, with one of my winter DIYs. But here's our little Hershey Kiss, like totally glam blinged out little candy dish for Valentine's Day. I really love all the colors and the bling. I wanted to do a little candle for my kitchen as well. I couldn't really find a candle holder that I liked or that I had that would work. And so I'm just going to use one of these little chunky circle wood blocks from the Dollar Tree. And we're just going to make a little candle base. I'm going to use a battery operated candle from the Dollar Tree. So it doesn't really matter what it's made out of, but I'm going to want to bling this out a little bit. The cut was a little rough, so I do sand it down and then just fill the little hole for the hanger with a little bit of spackle. And then we can decorate this. I was thinking I found that great glitter that you see there from the Dollar Tree that we could make a really fun looking glitter candle for Valentine's Day. You know I don't work with glitter hardly ever, so I was a little scared, but it worked out well. So just sanding off my excess spackle, and then I wanted this to look bling, but I also kind of wanted it to coordinate with that candy dish. So I'm using some of this gold acrylic again that I got at Dollar General, and we are going to paint that little wood block gold. Now, since this is raw wood, it's going to paint really well. Just one coat is all it's going to need. Just trying to work in the same direction on the top so that it'll look kind of nice. Don't really want to go swirly or anything like that. But I just wanted some bling for that. I thought that'd be really cute for the base. Now, I wanted to bling out the edges, and so I'm going to use those little gold like flower stickers from the Dollar Tree. But I'm gluing the beginning and the end. I'm trained at this point. Definitely glue the beginning and the ends and keep it tight so that whatever it's sticking to, it's going to stay stuck to. And I'm just going to feed those all the way around. That coordinates really nicely with the gold paint that we used on the candle holder. And it goes nicely with the candy dish that we just made. And just gluing down the end of that. And then I thought maybe it might need a little bit more bling. So I'm just kind of seeing how much room I have around the edges with the candle on there. And I have a little bit of room. So I'm going to use some of these light pink gemstone stickers and bling out the top of this candle holder as well. I kind of like alternate directions, trying to help with my spacing. It doesn't help. I still end up misspacing. Sometimes it's like really hard to get this to start and stop exactly where you want. But basically, I'm just going to do a row of those little pink hearts all the way around it. You could kind of space them out a little bit if you wanted. I thought I had pretty good spacing, but then I got to this part and some areas were kind of tighter. And some places not, but we're going to make it work. This is me rearranging, patching, trying to get an even amount of little hearts on there. And that looks pretty good. Now, the candle that we use is red. I thought red would be good. You're not going to be able to see the outside very much because I want to make a glitter candle, but you will be able to see the red on the top of the candle, so that'll add a little bit of color to that. And this is the glitter that I found. These are the bags from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree, but I think they also have like these like in little vials as well. I've seen there before. And so I'm just going to put out a paper plate and use one bag of that light pink glitter. Now, this was barely enough to cover the candle. So I really kind of had to work with it to make it look good. But I'm just going to take off the wrapper on these candles. These little candles from the Dollar Tree, they kind of feel kind of rubbery on the outside. They kind of feel like a candle. And just taking the little tag off the battery, making sure it works. Thank goodness. And then to attach the glitter to the sides, of the candle, I'm just going to use Mod Podge. You could use school glue. Any of that kind of stuff's going to work. Just something to glue the glitter on. Something that you can kind of get on there in a thin coat. So I just go all around the edges. One thing I like about the battery operated candle is that it does have that like wavy edge. I think that makes it look a little bit less like a battery operated candle and kind of cute. So just going all over, and we're gonna just start rolling this candle in the glitter. I got to this part and I was like, oh my goodness, I am totally not gonna have enough, and I have like some little bold spots on the red candle. But I just kept kind of rolling the candle exactly where I saw some glitter, if I saw like a bald spot, and it just kept going back and forth until I use every drop of that glitter, which is good. Less glitter on my workstation. And it was a close call here at the end. I thought I was going to have a few bald spots, but I ended up with actually really good coverage, but I definitely had to work for it there at the end. Isn't that pretty? I'm loving the glitter candle. Now, I wanted to decorate it with a little touch of Valentine's Day. I don't really have any hearts except for the little heart gemstones around there. So I'm actually going to decorate the front of that candle with one of these little glitter stickers from the Dollar Tree, the foam one. Since I did the pink glitter on the candle, I thought the red glitter heart would look really cute on there. And these are pretty sticky. It didn't have any problems sticking to the glitter. And I'm just going to stick that on the front of our candle. And that's all there is to this DIY. It was super easy to put this little candle together, and it's going to look great in my kitchen for Valentine's Day. Just making sure that I got that heart super stuck down to the glitter. I was a little worried that it was going to fall off, but it actually stayed really good. And this is how it turned out, our little glitter Valentine's Day candle. Little blinged out glam Valentine's Day base. Okay, check out this cute sign that I found at the Dollar Tree. Nice big sign. It says "Be Mine" in red glitter, and then it has like white glitter hearts all over, and it's that soft pink color that we've been working with a lot today. So I thought we could make a standing decor with this. I wanted to bling out the edges, and so I'm going to use some of this like iridescent red heart ribbon from the Dollar Tree and just go all the way around. I wanted to show you how pretty and sparkly that sign is. And that's also going to cover up the little hole there in the top as well. And then I plan on using one of these little signs from the Dollar Tree as a base to make it stand up. I've never done that with a sign this big. I did have a little trouble, but I'll show you how I fixed that. So I'm going to switch to my like fine tip hot glue gun because I don't want like lots of hot glue coming out because there's like little spaces in between the hearts. And I'm not going to need very much. The only thing I don't like about that hot glue is that I don't think it gets as hot, so I kind of have to work like really quickly, so I kind of have to do smaller sections. Otherwise, that hot glue is definitely going to set up on me. And we're just going to bling this out all the way around the edges. I think this is just going to provide a fun little border and frame detail to the heart sign. I always like to add to these Dollar Tree signs to make them feel like, you know, more substantial, a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side, just working all the way around. And I picked this ribbon because it is going to go great around these curves. It bends well. And that looks super cute. Now, I love all the glitter on there. I think that's going to be perfect for today. And then I thought I would add a little bit more glitter with this light pink ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Now, this really is glitter ribbon. There is no like sticky backing on there. It's kind of confusing because they're both called glitter ribbon. And so I'm just going to cut a long piece of that out. And we're just going to tie just a very simple, cute little bow here on the front, trying to make sure all of the glitter is visible. And I'm just going to attach it to the top. I thought that would be kind of sweet. Sweet little detail to add to the sign. So we're just going to go ahead and trim off our tails. And this is ready to attach to this. Usually I like to redo Dollar Tree signs completely, but this sign was really cute. They're doing really good with their signs this year. Sometimes they don't even use glitter, which always pleases me. But we're going for glam today, so the more glitter, the better. Now, this is the base we're going to use. The white pole on there is like kind of perfect, but I didn't really want to go with the wood base. I thought that wasn't really going to go with any of the bling decor that we got going on today. So I'm just going to use a little painter's tape to make sure we don't get any paint on the wire. And then I'm just using acrylic paint in a bright red color. I think this is called Candy Apple. And we're just going to go over that wood sign and make a red base. And I love working with these. I always pick these little signs up from the Dollar Tree whenever I see them because they are a great way to make standing decor with items from the Dollar Tree. They're pretty strong too. It's kind of hard to get that little metal circle off though. So if you're trying to get that off, I've gotten it off before, but usually it ends up in mutilation. Now to bling out the edges of the base, I'm going to use some of those little red dot stickers from the Dollar Tree. Hot gluing the beginning and end. And we're going to just feed those all the way around the base. Just to add a little bit of bling to the base, not too much. And I'm going to go around all the edges just in case that you can see it from the back as well. And I've trained myself to glue those things down now. And now it is ready to attach it to our little Be Mine sign. I like to use these because I just can use the little metal circle on there, cover it with hot glue, and then glue that to whatever I'm doing. Now, I've never glued it to something as big as this sign, so I did have a little trouble here. So I put a lot of hot glue on there, glue it to it, try not to burn myself. That metal definitely gets hot, and then glue that to it. Now, the problem that I had was that sign was big. It was kind of heavy. And so when I stood it up, it kind of wanted to tip over, like towards the front. I just kind of needed it to lean back a little bit. So to fix that, what I did is I just did a little bead of hot glue all along the front edge and then let that set up. It made a little ridge that you can't see, but look, now it stands up just fine. So crisis averted. And there is our little Be Mine sign for Valentine's Day. I love taking a hanging sign and making it shelf decor. It's a great way to fill like a lot of space with decorating. Okay, you ready for another DIY? I wanted to do something with beads and glitter. I thought a hanging sign like a heart with beads and glitter would be really cute. So I'm going to use one of these little wood heart signs from the Dollar Tree, and we are going to cover it in some of that glitter vinyl from the Dollar Tree in that beautiful hot pink color. So I'm just going to kind of line it up here on the back so that I can draw and then cut this vinyl down to size. And it's just going to be like a giant sticker to stick on our sign. Such an easy way to get some bling. Now, I normally don't like how thin these signs are, and I usually try to double them up or something, but I'm going to build out from this and bling it out, so it's going to make it look better, I think. So just cutting this out, it was a little tricky because it wanted to kind of roll up on me, but just trying to lay it down and doing the best I can to stay on the line to give myself a perfect cut. If you do go a little big, it's better than going a little short because you can always use some sandpaper to sand off the edges. So I'm going to peel and stick. I find it easier to line up if I actually lay it down flat like that and then lay the sign on top of it for some reason. Especially because I'm trying to keep my big head out of the shot there. But I'm just going to lay that down and then smooth that out. And it turned out really cute. And then I got those little glass beads from the Dollar Tree, and I wanted to do something with that on here to kind of make it look really cool. So I'm just sanding all around the edges, making sure that I got a perfect cut, and that cuts off the vinyl at a perfect shape. And then I'm going to use one of these little Cricut weeders from the Dollar Tree to try to find where the holes are because I do want this to be a hanging sign. So I do want to kind of reestablish the holes here. Just kind of trying to feel where they are and poking those back through. I'm not going to reattach the twine though. We'll do something a little bit more glam, I think, to hang that. Now, this is one of the little love words from the Dollar Tree. The little wood cutouts are so cute. And I was thinking if there was any way I could cover that with glass beads. It was a little tricky, but I think that I pulled it off. I was worried though that you were going to be able to see between the beads and that it was going to be like that raw wood color. So the first thing I decided to do is just paint the love word pink. That way the background will be pink as well. And I'm going to use those light pink beads that are kind of the same color as this to try to glue those onto it. So just using a makeup sponge, doing one coat of pink paint really easily over the word, and then drying that. And then I wanted to be careful that I only cut out like the parts here that I needed so that the rest of these glass beads would kind of stay intact. So I'm actually just going to cut the package like right around the beads that I want. Way easier. And I did use both of these. I may have needed a little bit more, but I had another package, but I didn't really want to open it, so we're going to make it work. Now, putting the glue on it, I was afraid I didn't want glue to go around the edges and stick on there, so I'm just kind of drawing out the love word in glue, but I'm not really spreading it out, if you know what I mean. I'm just kind of leaving it on there like that, and then I'm just going to start sprinkling it with glass beads. I started doing this and I was like, I think I'm getting like more on my cutting mat than I'm getting on the letters, but I was persistent. So I also turned it upside down and tried to kind of sit it on there and pick up the glass beads as well, which kind of worked. It did kind of smear them a little bit, so I'm just going to kind of shape it back up a little bit with that Cricut weeder to make sure that I don't have beads stuck to the side. I really only want the beads stuck to the front of the letters. So once I got to that point, I thought that there was still like some blank spaces and I still had beads laying around, obviously. And so I'm just using my fine tip hot glue gun, putting hot glue like on any bare places and then trying to patch that in. That hot glue is not very hot, so I'm not going to burn myself. But this was a little tedious, trying to fill in the holes. But I think it made it look better at the end because it definitely looks bling and beautiful. And it's going to look great on this little hot pink glitter heart sign, I think. So I'm just going to kind of put it there in the middle. I'm just going to attach it with hot glue. And try to center that the best that I can. I think it probably glued through the vinyl a little bit to attach to the sign because it seemed pretty sturdy. And now we need to bling it. So I'm going through what bling I have left. I had a bunch of these pink and purple and clear like gemstone stickers. And I had some like really big ones. And so I thought I would use the pink ones and go all the way around the edges. My camera died on me there for a little bit, but I'm just using my detail hot glue gun and gluing those all the way around. I started on this thinking, you know, I have so many of these. And then I started getting to like this point and I was like, you know, I hope I have as many of these as I think I do because how am I going to make it all the way around this heart? I really wanted it to be consistent and I really like this nice chunky glass gem for the edges, but I'm going to keep going thinking that I probably have more, and I did have more left over from that DIY earlier. And so I'm going to keep building, but that is the last package. Now, I did have another package of like the multicolored, which had some on there as well. So I was thinking maybe we can still make it. You'll see, I end up being too short, but we were going to make it work. So I keep building by stealing them off of this one. I get to the end, I realize I'm too short. And they have like a purple color, which is pretty close, but I don't really want them to be just on one side. That would look weird. And so I'm going to peel off the one at the end and make that purple, and the one at the top and make that one purple. That way it kind of makes sense. It's kind of hard to even tell in this lighting that they're different colors, but they're kind of different colors. And then I wanted to add a more bling. So I got these little heart gemstones from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. They're not stickers. They're really nice size though. And they're kind of like what the round ones that we use, but they're heart shaped. And so I'm picking out some like clear ones and some like pink ones. I thought those would look nice on the sign. And kind of like a random pattern like that. And then I was also thinking, the glitter foam stickers would probably look really cute on there as well. Bringing out all the bling for these glam Valentine's Day DIYs. And this sign was really fun. When you're decorating something like this, you can just go hog wild and just keep blinging it out. And so I used like the little light pink foam glitter hearts first, just kind of randomly around. And then I'm also going to use those gemstone hearts as well, kind of alternating the colors and attaching those with hot glue. No sticky on those at all. And just kind of filling up any of the spaces on here. We're going for maximum bling here. So we've got lots of light pink and hot pink so far on this sign. Then I thought maybe I need a little bit of red in there too. So I have some of the little red foam stickers that are shaped like hearts with little heart cutouts. And I'm actually going to layer those on top of the light pink ones to make it a little bit thicker, add even more color, more bling. And I'm going to do that on all of them. And how much bling have I added to this little love? I love it. I love the little beaded heart too. And then I'm going to use some of this soft pink. It's called Garland. It came from the Valentines section at the Dollar Tree. It was on a ribbon roll, like ribbon, but it's actually kind of this like beaded garland. So I'm trying to decide how I can attach that. And some of the beads are small enough to go through the hole. And so I do feed that through, and then I'm just going to attach it with some hot glue on the back. It kind of stops before you get to the bigger beads. And I'm just going to cut off a piece that'd be great for the hanger and feed that through from the front as well and glue that to the back. And gave me a really fun, glamorous hanger for our little blinged out heart for Valentine's Day. And I'm thinking, does it have enough bling? And yes, I think it does have enough bling. Look how shiny this is and fun. I love it. And this is how it turned out. Our little bling love. You can see that beautiful glass beads on the love word. Super cute. Okay, I wanted to do like a little fun flower arrangement. So I'm going to use one of these candle holders from the Dollar Tree. They have some great candle holders right now. They're so pretty. This is a pink one. It has like a little metal ribbon around it. It's got great texture. I think it looks really pretty. I did want it to kind of coordinate with the other DIYs we did today though. So I'm using some of that gold acrylic paint to go over the silver metal just to kind of make it coordinate. The silver is pretty too though. And I'm just kind of using a small brush, trying to be careful to kind of keep it off the glass and kind of just get the metal. I thought taping it at all those angles probably not going to be possible. And then it did take 2 coats to cover that metal again, kind of like the lid on our little candy dish. I don't want any of that silver shining through. I just want it to be that beautiful. It almost kind of looks brass color. And then I want to use these little red flowers that I got at the Valentine section at the Dollar Tree. I guess they're kind of roses. I used the little glitter. It was like a beaded heart on my tier tray that I use, my baking tier tray. And so I had this left over. So I'm just going to remove the wrapper. It comes like with a little concrete base. And I'm going to leave that little stake on there because I thought we could replace that little heart with that great big pink glitter heart that you see there, the wall hanging. Now to fill the jar, I'm going to use some of the red sand from the Dollar Tree. It's going to definitely go well for Valentine's Day. And I'm just going to fill all the way around the little concrete block in there. That way you won't be able to see that inside. Of course, I had to make a little bit of a mess there. But that worked out perfectly. And you can't really even tell the dish was pink. It looks like super red now. Now, this is the wall hanging glitter heart. I thought this was all kinds of bling. I tried to remove the hanger carefully, but I guess it doesn't matter how careful you are. It kind of damages it. So I'm just going to kind of cut that part off and try to fix that area because I made it look kind of bad up there. So I'm definitely trying to repair my damage by hot gluing that little piece back on. You can still kind of see the foam though, so I'm going to use some of this pink glitter adhesive ribbon. It's almost exactly the same color, and I'm just going to make a little DIY patch. It might be better to leave the ribbon on there, try to make it into a bow or something. I don't know. And now it's ready, and I'm going to use that same little stake that's on there from before and carefully put that in my heart, trying not to go all the way through. And I thought it needed maybe just a little heart, so it's kind of out of focus there. I'm going to use the little pink heart gemstone, just one, just on that little gold front of the little jar. You'll be able to see that here in just a second. And then I think it's looking really cute. I thought I could add a little bit more fun, totally going for a fun, glam, whimsical. And so I thought I have some of the little light pink glitter stakes from the Dollar Tree as well. And I thought maybe I might be able to fit a few in there. It was a little tricky getting it around the concrete, but I'm just going to kind of lean one to the left and one to the right, pushing it down into that red sand that we put in there and trying to work it around the flowers that were on there. It was a little tricky, but we're going to get it to work. And those match to the large glitter heart really perfectly. I think it looks really cute. It's kind of hard to show you without dumping out all my sand, but this is how it turned out. Our little fun floral arrangement for glam Valentine's Day. Super cute. Okay guys, it's our last DIY. I got one of these little long pink lip sign from the Valentine's Day section at the Dollar Tree, and I thought we could bling this out as well. I kind of wanted to go with like a EXO theme with this since it's got like a little lip cutout. I thought that'd be cute. So we're going to use this glitter ribbon again in this pink color, and we're going to try to spell out EXO. Now, the X is super easy. You can just cut out 2 pieces of ribbon and crisscross those, and you're going to have an X. I was a little bit more worried about the O because I didn't really have anything to use as like a stencil. I really wasn't wanting to get my Cricut out. And so I'm actually going to use this ribbon to make the O, and I'll show you how I do it. And I am just going to use a little bead of hot glue on this to make sure it sticks because I had problems with that sticking on one of those Valentine's Day trees. Now for the O, I don't want it to look like super square-like, so I'm going to cut like a top and bottom, but a little shorter. And try to get, about the same distance, tall, like for my EXO, same height. And then I'm going to cut the sides shorter as well. And then I'm going to kind of make it like a hexagon shape, maybe an octagon shape. Yeah, an octagon shape. To kind of make it look kind of like more fun shape for an O. Because it's going to kind of have the rounded edges, if you know what I mean. And then I'll just cut 4 pieces here and kind of go corner to corner with those to fill out my O. Just cutting them down to size and gluing those on. And these may have stayed stuck without glue, but at this point I was paranoid and I want to bling this out, so I want it to stay put for sure. I don't want it falling off. So I finished off my O. I think it turned out pretty well. And it coordinates nicely with the X. Now I was trying to decide how I could bling out these even more. These signs are kind of plain and boring. The pink color is fine, but we were going for glam today, so I wanted to add as much glam as I could. So we're going to do like these little gemstones. and I want to cover the ribbon with those. So these are like the pink color, and these are the circle ones. And my plan was to cover the entire thing with these, but then I got to this point, and again, I'm going to be a little bit shy, but we're going to make it work because I have so much bling that we can just kind of make this 2 different colors. So I kind of started from the bottom when I realized I was kind of short. That way we can kind of fade it into a different color and then back into the pink. We're going to make it work. And I had some red ones that I thought were about the same size on the multicolored sheets. And we're just going to make it work and do several rows in the red. I was pondering, is this going to work? It actually did work, and I kind of like the fact that they were blinged out in different colors. It just makes it more colorful and fun for Valentine's Day. So I did 1 row at the top, 2 rows on the bottom, and then I'm just going to do 1 for the middle of my X. Now for the O, I want to bling it out too, but I kind of used all of my little round gemstones, and so I was trying to see what would work. I have like these pink like oval gemstones, and then I have like the little red heart gemstones still. So I thought maybe since we had to do the 2 colors before, we could kind of go with it. And I could do like 4 rows of red in the middle of this letter as well to kind of make it look intentional. So I glue 4 of those little red heart gemstones onto this, kind of in the middle of the letter, just like before. And then we'll do the rest of it in pink. And for pink, I have some more gemstones I got at the Crafter Square. They're not stickers either. They're like just little pink ovals. They're so pretty. They have so much great bling at the Dollar Tree. Obviously, you've seen so much of it that I've used today. And I did a really good job going through all of my bling that I bought. I thought I was going to have way too much. And I'm just going to glue the oval shape. I thought the oval shape would be great because this is like an oval shaped O. And fill out the top part, gluing each one of those down. And then I'm going to do the same thing here along the bottom. I was trying to figure out how much bling I could add to this without really taking away from the XO shape. I want that to be legible and to be able to read it. But I don't really like the thin Dollar Tree sign, so I thought I could kind of frame it out with some of these little pink bead stickers from the Dollar Tree, which are super sticky. I think these will stay stuck. And I am going to frame out the entire little pink house. I have some of these in red too, I think with like a heart cutout. And I was thinking about cutting the chimney off of them and kind of making them look like fence posts. I think that'd be really cute too. Because this is a really tall house. And I went around the chimney with the little pink beads. And I'm going to go down and frame it out completely with these. These are so easy to work with. I love DIYing with these little bead stickers. And then I thought, there was a cutout of the lips. I probably should go around that as well and bling that out. It's definitely making it look more decorative. And then I thought I wanted to kind of decorate in the middle of the O. So I'm going to use one of the little red glitter foam stickers. Kind of center that in the middle. And then I thought it would be cute to kind of use some of those pink beads that we used on the border to kind of bling out the border of it as well. That way it doesn't look quite as flat. All the gemstones are kind of thick and the little foam stickers kind of flat. And we're just going to border that out just by going around all the edges with the little pink beads. And then finishing off with a little pink heart gemstone glued right to the middle. And I'm thinking that's probably an adequate amount of bling. But I thought maybe the little cutout there could use a little sparkle. So I thought I could use some of that hot pink glitter vinyl behind the little heart cutout just to make those little lips pop. So I'm just going to cut off a little spare piece of that. You could also use like glitter, scrapbook paper, whatever you've got. And I'm going to glue that on the back. Just trying to keep it as smooth as possible. That vinyl does kind of like to wrinkle a little bit. So I'm going to smooth that out a little bit. And we have some bright pink lips. Now, I do want this to be a hanging sign like it was before. So it does have the little whole hangers on there. And I'm going to use the rest of that like light pink garland that we used to make a hanger before. I really like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just cutting off the larger beads and feeding the smaller beads through the hole. They fit through there fine. And then attaching that to the back of the sign with hot glue. This isn't a very heavy sign, so I think it's going to hold up fine. I was a little worried with the beads kind of overlapping the beads, but they're kind of different colors, so I think it's going to be okay. And I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side. And we have a little blinged out XOXO sign with some sparkly lips. Super fun for Valentine's Day, especially for a glam look. And here it is, our little whimsical XO sign for Valentine's Day. Really fun. Definitely not like a super serious project, but I think it is very whimsical for Valentine's Day. I really hope you enjoyed these 20 Valentine's Day DIYs today. A little bit of vintage, a lot of glam. I had so much fun putting this video together for you. My family had so much fun on our Christmas cruise. Unfortunately, your girl got sick, of course, so I'm trying to nurse that while getting some Valentine's Day content out to you. Be sure to check out my end of year DIY videos as well and enjoy the final reveal.
Nothing ever felt as good or as easy as when we were young. Though I felt misunderstood, it was a pleasure running away with you. We were just children acting like adults, crazy, naive, bold and carefree. We were kids having kids, crazy, naive. It amazes me that we didn't fall apart harder than we did. They keep us on speaking terms. We grow and we learn. I have no regrets, only forgets. Oh, a big thank you to life for giving us sand. Oh, when the timing's right, there's no wasteland. Oh, we were just children acting like adults, crazy, naive, bold and carefree. We were kids having kids, crazy, naive. It amazes me that we didn't fall apart harder than we did. the starlit sky, our love's secret line. Like leaves we soar so high. Beneath the moonlight, soft touch your hand in mine gets me every time. Lost in the city lights, our love's electric ride. You make me feel alive. I know July is gone. You make me feel at home in the neon glow. As the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, there's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun. Maybe this is the season of love. Beneath an endless night, the world spins around. You're there, ease my mind. Like stars that never die, you and I will shine during the darkest times. As the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, there's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun. Maybe this is the season of love. As the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, there's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun. Maybe this is the season of love. Maybe this is the season of love. I wanna be a weekend lover. Yeah, I'ma be the best damn lover you got. I wanna mess up your covers. I don't wanna meet your mother. Never ever ask me how I've been. Remember why you have my number. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. I ain't got no time for romance, but baby, I don't want to lead you on. Not looking for something steady, not ready show me what you can do. Make a move, the way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark with every move I make.
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's Valentine's Day DIY video. I also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my Crafty Beach YouTube members. Thank you to Karen O'Haron, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, Live Another Day, Maren Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Red Mama, and Donna Tanner. Thank you guys so much for supporting my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. If you would like to become a member, all you have to do is hit the join button next to today's video. It's $4.99 a month. You're free to cancel at any time, and you're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube. Okay, would you like more Valentine's Day DIYs? Be sure to check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting.
You're falling.